Right, so that meter that just slightly is the terror meter. When we get back to a port, it goes down. Right, so we made it to New Winchester. It was not that long in terms of distance, but it was quite long in terms of text to read. You coast into the bustle, the din, the soot, and the steam of Wolvesey station. It is clogged with other engines, scrappy mining locomotives, still not sure, from Lustrum Way, weathered explorers gleaming with frost, sleek company vessels with bright brass fittings. No sooner have you pulled into the sidings than a brusque station master bustles over. He requests to come aboard. I must speak with your captain, he insists, brandishing a ledger. The usual formalities. Look to the Orphean's doctor. He has just appeared at your shoulder. His face is solemn. His hat is in his hands. He lowers his eyes. The crew exchange bleak, wordless looks. Well, what remains of the crew anyway? The Orphean itself feels suddenly more empty. The station master looks confused. You inform him that, unfortunately, Captain Whitlock has just passed. Ah, he says, neutrally. Sorry to hear that. Very sad, very sad. He waits for what he considers an appropriate minute and a half before continuing. Alas, even amidst tragedy, the cogs of bureaucracy must turn. If Captain Whitlock is deceased, the station authority require their answers from the first officer. That would be us. He dons a set of spectacles and locates his pen. It will be relatively painless. Name, background, purpose of visit, etc. Shall we begin? I really liked the writing in this game. There's a lot of metaphors, images, it's quite poetic, and the language can be a bit rare. You can usually guess what the words mean if you've not crossed them before, but there's also a lot of humor in there. Okay, character creation. Today, London lies between the stars. Her new empire unfolds across the heavens. But 10 years ago, before the Northern Gate was opened, before the renewed Empress led her people into the skies, it lay in a vast cavern far beneath the earth, deep, dark, marvelous. Who were you then? The story is quite mysterious. We don't have a good idea of the setting of the game, or we don't have a precise idea of what happened exactly, and we're gonna discover that as we go. I have forgotten most of it at this point. This mention about the vast cavern in which London lay before the Empress took it to the stars is a reference to Sunless Sea, the previous opus from Fail Better Games. I've not played it, I just know the general setting, which is that London was brought under the surface of the earth. I don't know much more. So we have options as for who we were: a street urchin, a soldier, a poet, an academic, a priest, a sailor, which is a sailor but in the specific context of the sea under the earth, a ministry auditor, a revolutionary. Okay, so I've started sacrificing people because I want to be what's the word? A deceptive, manipulative piece of crap. That's the character I want to be here. And I think being a high official sets with that quite a lot. It could also be just a street urchin. That's not as fun. So yeah, we're going to be a ministry auditor. For a time, you served at the Ministry of Public Decency, which has become Her Majesty's preferred instrument. You were an auditor. The ministry is responsible for the promotion and preservation of British culture. It is a sprawling, many-branched institution. To which department were you appointed? We can choose the Information Office, the Department of Sensibility, or the Department of Corrections. The Information Office is... well, it ingests raw information before it can reach vulnerable citizens, then regurgitates it in terms they should find less distressing. Okay, so we would be manipulating the information. That's enticing. Department of Sensibility. Their task is to determine, not sure, what constitutes Britishness and identify threats to it. That's fun. Why censor when you can correct? A revised word here, an omitted sentence there. Now the whole page says something different, something less troublesome. What's the difference between these two? Oh, this one is pre and this one is post. You correct things after others have said them, and here you preemptively manipulate the information. I like this one. It feels quite shrewd, which is a nice word. Also, it orients us towards the stats of veils, which is deception. We're gonna try to do that quite a lot. Now we need to choose our ambition, which could be wealth, fame, or the truth. As much as I like paradoxes, I don't think we're gonna be going for the truth. Wealth could be quite an obvious one. Fame. I like the idea of lying in order to pose as someone heroic. We might just try that. You will immortalize your exploits in the song of the sky. For centuries, people have launched themselves into the unknown in the hope of making a name for themselves. You're sure you'll succeed. After all, you never heard of anyone who didn't. Okay. Gather stories of your exploits and write about them in New Winchester. Okay. We are not gonna touch upon that at all. We're gonna just change our name. Let's not be original. Just take my pseudonym. Let's go. Okay, so here are at the bottom right. I cannot point to it, but here are the 4 stats. Iron, which is strength, resilience. Hearts, which is convincing others, being able to encourage. The next one is mirrors, which is the ability to deduce and understand. And veils, which we have talked about a bit already. Three weeks have passed. This morning, Captain Whitlock received a simple memorial service. Her body was consigned to an Necropolis train bound for the Serene Mausoleum. Now you sit, with a handful of her relatives, in the threadbare offices of her solicitors. A methodical notary is reading the will. The captain was wealthy once, but squandered her capital on mysterious expenses before her expedition to the Blue Kingdom. Listen to the end. The captain's relative, from whom she was mostly estranged, are clearly wondering why you are here. Right. In a final codicil, the notary announces, Captain Whitlock confirmed that possession of the Orphean was to pass to its first officer. He peers at you with dry, grey eyes. This includes a certain black box contained in the Orphean's hold. Captain Whitlock's final request was that, at the time of your choosing, you transport said box to an address in London. He hands you an address card, and deposit it there. You are not to look inside. She gave no explanation. And that's it. You're captain now. You're captain now. The Ophion is yours. Okay, so we can investigate the black box. And we got some money. And here we are in Wolvesey Station, the central station of Winchester. Okay, and we have a bunch of options. We can also at any time leave the station and get back to space, which we should not be doing right now. Here is the incautious driver. Right, so here it is. We can recruit officers for the Ophion, and the incautious driver seems like a pretty wise choice, right? I specialize in test driving, but I'm looking for something quieter. Okay. Oh, there's no more talking. We just... Okay, I don't even know how much I'm paying. I can now. You need 20 sovereigns. Okay, come aboard. It's gonna be fun. The driver boards, eager to get started. I recently parted ways with the Windward Company, they explain. Personally, I think a crash a week isn't so bad. They disagreed. Oh well, live and learn. Okay. We got some stats also. 6 iron, 2 hearts. And more affiliation with the establishment, which I'm sure we'll discuss in a bit. Okay. I believe we can talk to him through that screen, yes. Speak. The driver has no tolerance for uneventful voyages. When not on duty, they stare through the stained glass windows as if willing excitement to ride in on a wave of disaster. When they take the wheel, the rest of the crew grip the nearest available supports and whisper quiet prayers to various gods. Yes, my choice was right. Rumors not intended for your ears suggest the driver is running an illicit poker game in the hold. You enter the hold and find the game well underway. The driver sits cross-legged in front of a pile of freshly won sovereigns and 3 newly impoverished members of the crew. The stoker angrily throws an expensive-looking watch onto the pile of winnings and departs in a fury. The driver looks up. Principal, can't we make a wager? No shame. The driver deals the cards between the players. The cook and a crewman whose name you can't place at the moment watch each other with barely disguised suspicion. Behind you, a small crowd gathers to see their captain's coin. We have 1 chance out of 4 to win this. And it depends on the mirrors, which is our highest stats, so it's quite hard. I don't want to waste money right at the beginning. We're just going to step away from the game. The remaining crew around the circle relax as you stand to leave. The driver shuffles the cards, ready to begin the next round. We can let the game continue or ban any future games. That could instir tensions, but that's kind of fun, so I'll allow it. The crew needs a break. This is harmless enough. The driver nods to you, idly scratching an ear. Just for a moment, you spot something green winding around their finger. So we could gamble with him, converse with him, or... a second. Let's converse. I remember... So, most characters have quests associated with them. And that's it. There's a quest, so we are gonna do it. Hell. They keep scratching their ears, even while driving. A nervous tick, or perhaps a sickness that might spread amongst the crew. What? Oh, yes. The driver scratches again. It's nothing. Just a little ear ache, I'm sure. It comes and goes. We saw something green coming from that ear, so... Their knee trembles with the frustration of being pulled away from the wheel, for even this short conversation. See? All fine now. We can recommend visiting a doctor, order a visit to a doctor, or leave it for now. We will order it. Not necessary, the driver protests, scratching their ear with renewed force. A look of pain flashes over their face for a moment. Perhaps... My family knows of a specialist in New Winchester. I think father owns the building. I think I can call in for a favor. I can call in a favor, gee. Okay. Is it just the same dialogue or... Okay, yeah. So we need to go to actually go in New Winchester to that doctor office. And a second one, listen to the driver's suggestion. Recently they've been roaming the corridors of your engine, whistling and getting in the way. Is there something they want? Driver blinks. Can't keep anything from you, I see. I've been feeling a bit on edge. Would like to make myself useful if I can. There's races at the Royal Society. Maybe we could go there, and you could drop me off for a bit. I could make us both a bit of money. Races, okay. They take out a coin and flip it in the air. It comes down on heads. Just a thought, anyway. The driver will join the Rochester Club to take part in races and generate winnings for you while on secondment. I am not too sure what secondment is, but alright. So I guess the option to go and see a doctor is going to be in exploring the city. The smoggy, clanking, singing, stamping, thronging, frantic heart of the Reach. An ever-expanding port of soot, smudged glass and bright steel, spilling across a drifting, mist-wrapped archipelago. Its factories thunder. Its engine sheds ring with hammers and hiss with steam. Locomotives chug into sidings for repair or flare across the sky and away into the high wilderness. An opportunity, learn about trading. Escorting cautious driver, let's go for that right away. A silver plaque on the door bearing only a name indicates this as the address of New Winchester's most exclusive practice. I'm not too sure I got that. Most exclusive practice, not too sure what they mean. While the doctor conducts her examination, the driver asks you to update their old records with their current employment. You take a moment's pleasure in the driver's ridiculous middle name and pass over the field on gender, straightforwardly crossed out. We did refer to them as they before, okay. Their address was last an eyebrow-raisingly prestigious New Winchester townhouse. I'm struggling a bit there, because there's a lot of qualificatives. Not too sure if that's how the English would say it. And, well, I don't really know where to cut the sentences I read. You amend it to the name of your locomotive. Still don't know how to stress that. That is distressing me. I'm gonna do a bit of research. What reference? Locomotive. Can I have the English?
Locomotive.
That's the French. How do I get the English here? Okay, I think I have it there.
Locomotive. Locomotive.
Oh, there are two stresses?
Locomotive.
Locomotive. Okay, that's it. Where were we? You amend it to the name. You amend it to the name of law locomotive. Ah, the doctor says, peering into the driver's ear. A case of verdancy, a fungal colonization of the brain, not uncommon in the Reach. Ah, that's disgusting. You've noticed uncharacteristic impulses, changes in behavior. It hijacks the brain. Oh, that's fun. She eyes the driver's sky suit and scars. The driver nods. Yes, the spores root deeply in the brain. Attempts to extract them have had less than satisfactory results. I like the euphemism here. I'm afraid the best prescription is to entertain them. Take them where they want to go. See the things they want to see. Typically, a little travel does the job. They'll soon lose interest. Okay. Can I just go back to... Please. Okay, I guess the menus don't. Left trigger. Oh, okay. Can I speak to them again? The incautious driver paces back and forth, clicking their tongue. It must have been a crash, in the nature reserve. My father sent me there to take up a nice quiet job. I always did love boating. But when they pulled me from the wreckage, I had new dreams to follow. I thought they were mine. Now, how can I be sure? A new resolve washes over their face when they turn back, eyes sharp and sparkling with a flicker of emerald. Either way, I know where I have to go. Old Tom's Well. Give me the wheel, Captain. I have an appointment to keep. The well lies to the northwest of New Winchester. I am gonna have to keep track of the locations. So that quest brings me to the northwest of New Winchester. I don't think we're gonna go there right away, because we're gonna be in need of money, I'm afraid. But eventually we'll get to that. Okay. The scrubby clerk begs a moment of your time. That was not here before. I represent Halliges? The banking house. I promise this will take only a moment of your unquestionably valuable time. He produces a folded contract with a flourish. We hear promising things about you, Principal. Very promising indeed. Yes. Since I came here, I have done absolutely nothing except for chatting with my crazy-ass driver. We would like to extend our services. We provide a secure solution for the storage of your assets, absolute discretion, and steadfastness unto death and beyond. That's quite a commitment. We require only a signature. Sign your name. I don't have a choice here. They're shady as shit. Again, so am I, but... okay. The offer is entirely complimentary, I assure you. At Halliges, we measure ourselves by the quality of our clientele. Okay then, that's... is it flattering or is it an insult? I'm not too sure. This will unlock a bank vault, allowing you to store and withdraw items at any hub port. Okay. There, it is done. I am certain that this represents the beginning of a long and warm relationship between ourselves and your liege. May it endure. I bid you good day, Principal. They don't actually expect me to leave. You may access your bank in the central port of any region. You will find it in the list of areas on the left-hand menu when docked. There. Okay. Select to transfer items between your hold and the bank. You will be able to access the contents of your bank from any hub port. If your captain dies, the contents of your bank will be inherited by your next captain. Okay. How do I get back to the text? Left trigger. That's not it. There. No. I do not know where I am clicking.